Guys, welcome back. It is Racer X, and today I want to talk about the Hellcat. Actually, the Hellcat Charger is what I want to talk about, specifically the brand new 2021 Charger Hellcat Redeye. Will it be worth the money? I want to give you some facts, or at least some things that I can kind of make sense out of. I want to talk a little bit about what that car is going to offer. It should be a pretty fun little comparison. Hopefully I can give you guys at least my take on will it be worth buying? So stay tuned for that. Also, guys, if you are new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button down here in the corner, and we are off. We got the 1,000 horsepower Hellcat. So back when I bought my car in 2016, the Charger Hellcat only came in essentially one body, which is, I guess, the narrow body. Now they offer the wide body and do not offer the narrow body. You can only get the 2020 Charger Hellcat in a wide body version. And that car starts out right about 72 some odd change $1,000. And of course, to get it well equipped, it's going to cost you anywhere between $76 and we'll say $80,000. And so what does that really mean? Well, we can look at Dodge's website to tell us about what we think the difference will be between a normal Hellcat and a Charger Hellcat Redeye. I actually intended to go film at a dealership with a Charger Hellcat wide body, but unfortunately there are no Hellcats at all, Chargers or Challengers, within 200 square miles of where I live. Obviously the dealerships are fighting for inventory right now. The plants have all been shut down, really for every manufacturer, and all the performance cars that they just don't get a whole lot of got gobbled up. So making car content with with a performance vehicle at a dealership is nearly impossible to do. They have like no inventory. So we'll just go ahead and use the Beast here for this one behind me. Okay, so I want to give you the facts, and I actually did my research here on Dodge's website, so everything should be pretty darn close here. Well, here's what we know. The wide body Hellcat is about $6,000 more than the narrow body Hellcat, trim for trim. So you add the wide body, $6 grand. Also, when we look at the Charger versus the Challenger, we see that the Charger, trim for trim, is about $6,000 more. And then, of course, when you add the wide body to it, it gets significantly more expensive. So what does all that mean? So for the narrow body Challenger, and this is kind of where I'm getting my baseline numbers from here, guys, we're looking at $60,695. That is base price. Keep in mind, that is a bone stock base, just Challenger Hellcat. Also for the wide body, you're looking at $66,695 for the $6 grand. And for the Redeye, you're looking at $72,295, okay? For the wide body Hellcat Challenger Redeye, you're looking at $78,295. So what does all that mean? Basically, the Redeye is going to cost you about $11,600 more than the regular Hellcat, trim for trim. So you just add basically $11,600 to the price of the car to get the Redeye. So when I went to Dodge's website, I went ahead and spec'd out a car, kind of put it together the way that I like it, and it turned out to be right at $76,000. So I have to believe that if I was going to buy a Charger Hellcat Redeye, that I would have to add somewhere around $11,600 to the price of the car to get that Redeye package. Now, keep in mind, guys, that is before after dealer markup, which we all absolutely know and love. Not so much. But anyway, guys, so really that brought the total somewhere around $87,600. So, I mean, we're coming up on about $90,000. So what do you really get when you buy the Redeye? That is really the key factor, because not too long ago, I actually raced my modified Hellcat Charger against our good buddy Mod to Fame, and he had a borrowed Challenger Hellcat Redeye. And we raced in the quarter mile, and we had a fun little race. I actually want to kind of show that to you. So, we're going to get a race in today?
Yeah. Oh, we're going to get a... Oh, me and you?
Me and you.
Let's do it, brother.
Let's make it happen.
Well, your car is a monster.
Well, my car is still a big four-door sedan, and it's heavy.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. I don't know who he thinks is falling for that, but it ain't me. But yes, we'll get a race in.
We'll do it.
And you'll post your video gapping money.
got defamed pretty good on that one. Well, really the next big question is, when you buy a Redeye for that $11,600 that you're spending, what do you actually get? Well, as we know, a lot of the stuff kind of bled over from the Demon. So yeah, you're gonna get about 90 additional horsepower for one. Obviously, we're talking about the Charger now. And then also like 57 pound-feet of torque. You're gonna get a bigger blower in the car. In the normal Hellcat, you get the 2.4 liter supercharger that puts out somewhere around 11.6 pounds of boost at sea level. On the Redeye, you essentially get the Demon blower, which is a 2.7 liter blower, putting out over 14 pounds of boost. And that's where you get that additional horsepower from. You get the beefed up engine internals, you get a beefed up drive line, including the drive shaft and the half shafts. You get a little higher red line on the car. I think 6,200, somewhere around there, is the normal Hellcat. And in the Redeye, you do get about 6,500. You get a little looser torque converter, a little more aggressive. And that is essentially kind of what you get. It's a pretty sweet little package, but is it worth $11,600? That remains to be seen. So really the big thing is, do you want to modify an existing Hellcat? Is it cheaper to do that? Or do you just go ahead and spend the extra money for the Redeye? Well, obviously that answer is subjective. Do you have the money? Do you think a Redeye is just a cooler car all around? Do you want to make the Hellcat faster? Well, we could talk a little bit about some of the things that I've done to mine to help people maybe make that decision. One little interesting tidbit that I found when I was looking at Dodge's website was when you compare the Challenger Hellcat Widebody to the Challenger Redeye Hellcat Widebody, the difference is essentially 1/10. It says that the Redeye runs a 10.8, and it says the regular Hellcat Widebody runs a 10.9. So it's about a tenth, and they say about 4 miles an hour, which seems a little odd with 4 miles an hour. You'd think it would be maybe a little more than a tenth, but it's not. And so really at the end of the day, that's what you're looking at. Are you willing to gain a tenth for almost $12,000? Now, I will say the Redeye does have some really cool bits. When you go to modify it, it's cool having the additional kind of beefed up internals in the motor. But with my car, when I had a 285 pulley only, I still ran pump gas in this car. I didn't have to change out my fuel pumps. I did do a drive shaft, but it really wasn't a very expensive setup. I mean, you can buy a pulley and a belt for this car for what, $250 maybe? And of course, then you have to have it tuned, and we know that you got to get a good tune on the car. But I ran consistent 1050s in this car on a 20-inch drag radial. So I mean, you've got to figure, even with everything I had in it, we're probably maybe $3,000 to $4,000 for the beefed up, the drive shaft, the tires that I had in the back of the car, and of course the pulley, the tune, all of that stuff. The car ran consistent 1050s, so something to be said for that. So when you start playing the modding game, we all know how it goes, and you can always make the argument it's better to just mod the crap out of something basic or buy the more expensive thing from the factory. There is no right or wrong, but definitely something to consider is the way that I've set up my car. I am fairly confident that you can actually replicate this setup for under $10,000. So what all have I done to mine? Well, it's a 275 upper pulley, a 10% ATI lower pulley. I am running E85 fuel, which means that I had to jump up on my fuel injector size to 1300s. I did twin drop-in 450s on the fuel pumps. I've got some other goodies in there. I've got obviously drivetrain components in there. I've got a 4-inch aluminum drive shaft. I've also got beefed up half shafts because I did break one. I've got a killer chiller in the car, but essentially my car is a very consistent high 9-second car, and in good air, it will dip into the mid 9s. The car is unbelievably consistent and is obviously much, much faster than you would get in a Redeye. And like I said, you could replicate that same thing for probably under $10,000, tune, everything involved. Now, when you start modding the Redeye, it's a little bit of a different story. And the Redeye is a fantastic platform to modify because of what we talked about before, with it having the beefed up engine components, the beefed up drivetrain. So if you have the money, you can kind of start dipping into the Redeye and have the confidence that the car is going to hold up nicely for you. Guys, don't get me wrong. I think the new 2020 Charger Hellcat Redeye is going to be a bad machine. I think it's going to be sort of exclusive. I can't wait to see what they do with the hood on the new car and maybe some of the other small bits just to make the thing really, really unique. And you know what, guys? Ultimately, you have to make the decision. Is the thing going to be worth $90,000 or $95,000 by the time it's all said and done? And that's if you don't get hit with after dealer markup. Well, it just, like I said, depends on your financial status and really what you want. Now, can you make a Charger Hellcat faster? Pretty easy? Yeah, you can. But like I said, then you can start modifying the Redeye, and you've already got the peace of mind of knowing that you've got some beefed up components already on the car. So something to be said for that, guys. So there's no right or wrong here. I'm really looking forward to seeing the new car. Will it be worth the money? It's completely up to you guys. Let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. And that's about all I had, guys. So until next time, Racer X.